Mickey on the track.
Good morning, Brownsville Middle School. Welcome to our end of our Red Ribbon Week and our Bullying Prevention Week. As you can see here, these are the behaviors you can get points for. This is just a quick reminder. Every week, we give you points for these specific behaviors. And this week, I'm noticing an amazing improvement on communicating when you need help. That is one of the main points that has been given out this week. Communicate when you need help. We are here for you. You have questions about school, anything outside of school, anything regarding sports, activities, or any clubs. Please let us know if you have any questions. We are here for you. So I'm going to leave this up for about 30 seconds so that you can see all the points that you can earn next week. Brownsville Middle School. We are number 5 in the country right now on Get Schooled. Almost 90% of you are signed up on Get Schooled, and we need to beat Carroll City Middle. Carroll City Middle is ranked number 1 in the country. We got to beat them. All right? So what this means for all of you is you need to get all your friends to make sure that they have an account on getschooled.com. Okay? All you got to do is go to getschooled.com and click on sign up, put in the information, and enter. Once you get there, if you are under the age of 13, remember to use my email if you are under the age of 13 for permission, which is attached here. Remember, also download the app. If you have an Android, it's easy. Go to the Google Play Store and get the app Get Schooled. It's free. If you have an iPhone, go to the website, and at the bottom you'll see a little arrow and a little box. Click on that and press Add to Home Screen. If you have any questions, please see me because we got to beat them. We got to be number 1. Always. And our attendance has been great so far. So let's keep it up, Brownsville Middle School. I'm proud of you. Now, as you know, this past week has been Bullying Prevention Week, and we talked a lot about it on Monday, and throughout the week, I'm sure people have talked about it around the building. Here, we're going to do a quick reflection to make sure that we learn everything we need about bullying situations and how to go about them. I want you to take the next minute to read this out loud or with your teacher. Teachers, please feel free to read this out loud to students. It is a scenario, a bullying case. I want you to answer the following 4 questions at the bottom of this slide on your paper silently after this passage has been read. Go. I hope you just had some great discussions based on what we've learned about bullying prevention, and you've learned some ways that you can help yourself or others or people at home in regards to bullying. Not only is it Bullying Prevention Month, but it's also Red Ribbon Week. As you notice around Brownsville, there's been a lot of ribbons everywhere, and they are red, and there is a purpose behind this. Red Ribbon Week is an alcohol, tobacco, and other drug and violence prevention awareness campaign every October. And what we're going to do during this homeroom now is watch 3 videos back to back to back. And I just want you to watch these and take this in and really think about how this impacts you and your community.
Hey, Big Juicy, do you have a second?
Well, I have some orders of barbecue to fill for the shop, but I can't always take time to chop it up with my nephew. What's good?
Well, let's say I have a friend who really wants to hang out with this group of kids. The thing is, these kids tell him the only way he can chill with them is if he does something that might get him in trouble.
I don't like the sound of this already, nephew. But for this, friend you talking about, what are they asking him to do?
Well, he told me that they wanted him to use drugs. He told me that the only way they would let him chill with them is to show that he would do drugs and he wasn't a square.
Man, I had that happen before, nephew.
Really, Big Juicy? So, what did you do?
Well, actually, I ended up doing what those guys told me to do. I thought the only way I could fit in was to mess around with drugs.
Okay, that's what's up, Big Juicy. I'm glad I talked with you.
Hold on a second, nephew. There's more to the story.
There is? What happened, Big Juicy?
Well, when I tried it, I really didn't like it. I just did it because I wanted to fit in. Then one day after school, one of the teachers called us. We ended up getting kicked out of school for the rest of the year.
Oh, man. My mom would be so mad if I got kicked out of school.
Well, trust me, when my mom found out, I had a year's worth of punishment. On top of that, I had to go to counseling.
That's crazy, Big Juicy.
Now, what's crazy, nephew, is someone who tells you you have to do something that you don't want to do in order for them to be your friend. We don't need friends putting pressure on us to use drugs. Drugs are illegal. They mess up your brain, and they mess up your life. When I got busted, it felt like the longest year of my life, and I learned one thing.
What was that, Big Juicy?
I learned to say no to drugs. No matter what anybody tried to tell me or make it seem like it was okay, drugs are never okay. So Bernard, your friend, tell him my advice would be to never let people talk you into using drugs and to say no to drugs.
I'll say no to drugs. I'll make sure my friend says no. Thanks for your help and advice, Big Juicy.
That's what I'm talking about, nephew. Say no to drugs.
If you feel that what you're about to do is not right and you get that feeling, listen to it. Peer pressure, I know it's hard to fight. They was doing drugs and I didn't want to do it, but they sweet talked me into doing it. I felt bad, like my eyes was closing. I didn't know where I was at. I was seeing things. I felt like everything was against me. They was just laughing like it feels good and stuff. And I was saying yeah, even though it wasn't. I felt like people couldn't see me. I felt like I was the only person walking the street. I felt empty. It was like I was a ghost. When I asked for help, I went to Kids Bay. I spoke to the staff. I told them what I did. I joined the Above the Influence team. Ever since then, I felt better. My friend that goes to Kids Bay, I like him because he's good. If I'm going through something, I could talk to him. If there's a party and I was to tell him, he would look at me and be like, you sure you want to go? He'd be like, don't you know parties end late and stuff? Like, he would try to convince me not to do it. It's important to choose your friends carefully because you wouldn't know if they're good for you or not, and like they can influence you to do bad things. Life's been challenging because ever since I started hanging out with the good people, it's like I run into those same bad people. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, it's easy, that it's hard, because there's still challenges out there that I have to face and that I haven't met yet. What Above the Influence means to me is you have friends there that's a good influence. You're on a positive team. You have people behind your back that's positive.
My mom would be at all my sporting events. Let's say I was playing football. My mother would be on the sidelines, and let's say the action on the field went one way. My mother would run along with it. She's like, Mark, get on! I'd be like, oh my gosh. I'd be on the field, we get in the huddle with the guys, they go, Mark, is that your mother? I go, no, I never saw her before in my life. No, but seriously, some of you guys can relate to that. My mom, she really empowered me to become special in sports. See, the greatest gift my mother ever gave me, she believed in me. I've overdosed on drugs on 3 occasions where I should have been dead, but I believe I was kept here for a reason. You show me your friends, I will show you your future. How do I know this? Because I hung out with losers, I became the biggest loser of them all, because I gave up everything I dreamt about as a little boy, because of who I chose to surround myself with. My friends would drive me home at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We'd be drunk and high in the car. We'd pull up in front of my house, my buddies would go, Mark, the light's on. I go, oh man, my mother's up. See, my mom wouldn't go to bed until she knew her son was still alive. I'd walk in, she'd say, hi Mark, how was your night? I go, it was good, Mom, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, can I talk to you just for a minute? I go, Mom, I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, Mark, I haven't seen you all day and all night. Can I please talk to you? I go, man, just leave me alone. You bug me. I'd slam my bedroom door on the one person who believed in me. I was on a worldwide tour and I was wrestling overseas in Japan. After my wrestling match, I went upstairs to my hotel and I fell asleep. There was a knock at my door at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got out of bed, I looked through the safety window of the hotel door, and I could see it was a Japanese promoter. So I opened the door and he said, Mark, you need to call home. There's been an emergency. So I got on the hotel room phone, I called back to the United States and said, hey, what's going on? He said, Mark, I don't know how to tell you this. I go, just tell me what happened. All of a sudden they started crying. They go, Mark, I can't tell you. Just say it. They said, Mark, your mother died. I just threw the phone down. I ran out of my hotel room. I took the elevator to the lobby. When the doors opened up, I just ran out into the street. And I remember looking up and just saying, Mom, I am so sorry. I flew home for her funeral and I was so nervous to walk up to her casket. So I just stood way in the back. And I remember just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, Mom, please wake up. Please get up. And then I finally got the nerve to walk up to her, and she was so beautiful. She was dressed in white. I mean, she looked like an angel. I said, Mom, you are my hero. Everything I am, everything I hope to be was because of you. You loved me so much. You gave me a life. You worked 2 jobs. You're the only one that ever believed in me. How'd I repay her? By getting drunk? By getting high? By getting stupid? By hanging out with losers? For what? All she ever wanted to do was talk to me. If you have a mother or a father, tell them how much you love them. See, my whole life was about being rich and famous. That's all I cared about. I had to win the race. I had to win the race at the expense of my marriage, my family, my friends. For what? To be all alone in this world? That's not how it's intended to be. Life is not about winning the race. Life is about finishing the race, and how many people we can all help finish this race. How we can start being kinder to each other. How we can help the students that are going through adversity right now. How we could stop with the name calling and hurting other people. Because in the end, it may be you that needs help to finish the race. Because I learned what is truly important, and that is how precious this gift of life is, and how quickly it can be taken away. See, I no longer live in time. I live in moments. I'm not worried about tomorrow. See, it's not what's in your pocket that matters. It's what's in your heart that truly matters. Love is just a word until somebody comes along and gives it meaning. You are the meaning.
Always remember, Brownsville Middle School, be yourself, no matter what, in any situation, whether it is bullying or you are being peer pressured to do something you don't want to do. And always remember, dare to soar.